right, so we call this meeting to order. This is my first one that I'm starting my own buildings and grounds.
Well,
So-
just a minute. There it went, finally.
I got nervous. Okay, so we're good. We call this meeting to order and make a motion to, tell me what I'm doing.
Call
Start
to
the meeting.
order.
I did it,
Order.
so I knew what I was doing.
Roll. Roll call.
Roll, and start with the pledge.
Do roll.
Do roll first.
Hayes,
Here.
Lee,
Here.
Carter.
It's Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Okay, so our first item looks like Mr. Hampshire, is that right? You want to come on up and tell us what your Eagle Scout project proposal is? Welcome. What's your first name?
Jared,
Jared.
List your address also. Mrs. Hayes.
13318
Mrs. Hayes.
Yes, sir.
I believe we have to make a motion to let non-committee
Oh, great call.
Thank you.
members vote.
I'm sorry.
Or
I'm
speak,
learning.
sorry.
But I'm
Thank
glad it's
Tim,
you guys.
because I didn't remember either. He caught me.
Make a motion to let non-committee members in on the meeting?
Speak.
To speak.
Yeah.
All right.
Second. I second that.
Hayes,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Carter. Oh, she's not here.
Sorry about that.
No, I'm just glad you said something. Jared, how do you spell your name?
Jared.
Thank you. Thank you, Jared.
Hampshire.
I got that. I just didn't want to mess it. There's like 14 million ways to spell his first name. I didn't want to mess it up.
Thank you.
Alright, so my Eagle project, the intent is to clean up the cemeteries and renovate them in a way. The ones on Havens Corners Road, that's Swisher Cemetery, and the one on Macintosh Road, that's farther down in Pascagoula, closer to Watkins. And I can't do anything with the tombstone property, so legally I can't do anything there. But my idea would be to fix up the fences, take out bushes that are dead and considered weeds at this point. At Macintosh Cemetery, there is a moss problem that I would like to get rid of, and I would like to replace the fences and add in a bench or two.
That's nice.
And if you flip to the second page, the one that says Swisher Cemetery, just with some pictures, I circled one of the tombstones, even though I can't do anything with it, just to show that the cemeteries are in very bad disrepair. And if you keep flipping through, you will notice on the third page, I believe it is, there's two bushes circled. When I went there, these bushes are, at this point, just weeds. I haven't seen them during the summer months, so I don't know how well they look all bloomed, but they're knocking over some tombstones, so they're kind of causing more damage than they're worth, and I'd like to replace sort of flowering bush in a different position. If you keep going, it's the fourth page. The back two corners of Swisher Cemetery, I'd like to replace, instead of an entire fence, just like a split rail like corner fence. Color to be decided or not. It's just, I feel like it'd be easier to maintain than an entire wire fence, and it would just mark the corners of the cemetery. If you flip to the very last page of the Swisher Cemetery section with Macintosh, it shows the entire front fence. On the corners of that, I would also like to make some split rail corners, but I also would like to take out the entire front and replace it with an entire split rail fence of the same colors of the back two corners. And again, it would just be easier to maintain one split rail fence than a wire fence that would eventually rust. And as the fence is now, it's very bad. I would also like to replace the gate, but if the gate's too expensive to replace, I would just keep the original gate and just get it a new coat of paint, because the gate's not too bad, it's just The gate on this one is rusted to the point where it's probably just cheaper to replace the gate entirely. It wouldn't be too cheap to go. It would be cheap to go to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy a new metal gate entirely. If you flip 2 pages in the Macintosh Cemetery, the picture that seems like the contrast is a bit out of whack because it's brighter than the rest. That's where moss prom comes in because there's a lot of moss there. It's covering up tombstones and it's just growing out of, it's growing rampantly. And if you flip 1 page previously, you'll see the bottom right picture. The trees, I can't do anything with the trees because they're too big to remove, but we can remove the fence there. And again, do the same exact thing that we did with
I noticed that on the Swisher Cemetery one, there actually looks like where the page where you show the split rail fence in the corner, it looks like a relatively new gray headstone where it says Perry there. It's like the first, second, third, fourth, fifth page in. Do we have? Are there a lot of newer stones there like that?
as new as they appear to be.
Oh, okay.
The most recent one was in the 90s.
Okay, well, that's new to me, Jared. No.
There's none within like the recent 10 years.
Okay. Do we are there any signs at the front gates of either cemetery that say anything about, enter at your, no, I don't mean like enter at your own risk, but like the liability of walking around with so many broken headstones?
No, the only sign that's actually there is just, the only sign actually is the Swisher Cemetery on the wall. It's Swisher Cemetery and it's out by the road.
I wonder if we, like in our older cemeteries in town, if we should consider putting some type of a disclaimer sign that, it just lets people know if they're walking in there that they travel around at their own risk, so that way if anything should fall on them, that the city or the project isn't liable for it. I'm not saying you have to do that, but I'm looking at the headstones and seeing that all kinds of possible dangerous situations.
I know I might not have got a picture of it in here at all. I know at Swisher Cemetery there's a lot of bigger tombstones there and a lot of them are tipping over. Tipping over. And if they haven't tipped over yet, they're going to.
Especially when the ground is soft.
I can't do anything about the tombstones. I can move them to clean stuff around them, but I have to put them back in their original spot. And I can't like them and I can't break them and if I do break them I have to like write apology. Can't do much in that area.
Hey, Suzanne, can I mention a couple things?
Absolutely.
When we're looking at the gates for both, the gates don't serve much of a purpose.
Not really.
Right. Is there an opportunity to maybe take any funding that would go towards the gates to either do signage or make a more attractive entrance
It would be possible, yes.
to the cemeteries? I'd be interested in seeing that. As far as in the cemeteries, I know you talked about removing some stuff. I would be interested in working with you to see what is too big for you to move or remove as far as vegetation.
Really, the only vegetation that I really planned on moving was like 2 bushes.
Okay.
Those are really the only like destructive plants in there. There's a few
Okay.
other ones that I'd like to remove, but the only problem with those 2 destructive bushes is they're right next to tombstones, so it would be
Okay.
a problem getting rid of them.
Well, and if you're in there, it might behoove the city to be in there also, which is what BJ's saying. Like I see the front page of Macintosh here where obviously the tree is large, but we've got like stray plants growing through the fence that are only going to damage more if those things aren't replaced. So I'm sure if we got in there and the city was available to help take down trees, and that would be nice too. Gentlemen, any thoughts, comments?
Go
This is a
ahead.
great project.
I do, but look.
One last thing, if you have any interest in the history of these cemeteries, we have old records that you would certainly be able to obtain if you wanted to, do some inventorying. Great.
Couple things. I think it's a great project, both of them. I believe the city owns these cemeteries. They're not, okay. We maintain them? Okay.
We,
And-
as far as mowing and, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
As far as, like, I see some of the headstones have already fallen over, and some of them, like you said, look like they're going to.
At the back of like Swisher Cemetery, there's a lot of headstones that are just leaning up against the fence. Like they've been moved from their previous location. In the Macintosh, I don't know about it for them or not.
Well, like, I'm looking at the one at Swisher there, and but I mean, is it just he can't stand them back up? Is there some type of a,
They were
Probably
purchased
broken.
with private money, so they're private property.
okay.
I have a
Yeah.
question. What about veterans markings, or can you tell if any of them were veterans in the cemetery?
Some of them, from like, just previous like Veterans Day stuff, some of them have flags, some of them are marks. Others, it's hard to tell if they're veterans
Right.
or not. When I went around, like a week or two ago, me and my friend were taking pictures and we just picked up some flags that weren't any, great. At this point, it's hard to tell
Right.
which one, some of them are clearly marked on which ones are veterans.
Difficult. Okay. This is a great project. I appreciate you doing this.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
As far as the headstones, kind of piggybacking on what Tommy said, have you researched what it would take to be able to reset those as far as getting permission?
I have not, my mom, she has a friend who works in a cemetery, so I could ask,
Okay.
but I would assume it wouldn't take very.
Be curious.
Because I think it'd be, I mean, I get it, it's private
I
property,
would have to find all the families and ask.
but I can't imagine if somebody's headstone is laying down on the ground, any family would care if you picked it up and put it back up.
They would almost expect the service of the cemetery to have done that for them, probably.
Yeah, I mean, how would they know?
Right. And since that's not a cemetery that is,
Right.
I don't even know the word I'm looking for, looked at often, no one would know.
Could you look into that? Because I think it'd be really nice.
Yeah. So what are next steps for you?
Next steps are to get a supply list going together, and then I need to start getting actual funding for the project.
Okay.
And I also need to send in my paperwork to the. So as of right now, I don't have an actual work date set.
Okay.
But it would have to be sometime in maybe June or July-ish, when it gets warm, just to see exactly what plants would be probable to remove. Because if those two bushes look nice, then it wouldn't be. It'd be nice to trim them up and
Sure.
make sure they're not actually as destructive as I think they are. Because right now they just look like weeds.
Well, and if they're going to break more stones, then you probably do want to take them out. What type of, are you looking into the types of donations? Are you looking for labor donations, monetary donations, all of the above?
Labor donations isn't too big of a thing right now because a lot of people from my troop would come and help, and a lot of my mom's friends. Right now it's just monetary donations, and at my church we can do a bake sale.
And supplies? What if,
Supplies, that's iffy. Sometimes supplies can get donated to Eagle Project. Sometimes we have to, our monetary donations go ahead and get.
Right.
It all just depends on the project.
well, I know with me teaching at Pataskala, if we want to do a project, if I send Home Depot or Lowe's a letter with the letterhead of my organization on it, and asking them what supplies I'm seeking, they can't. I've gone in and they've donated paint and buckets and things for projects I've done at school. So Home Depot was really great. Let's see, the one on Bryce Road, that's a Lowe's. So if you use the letterhead of whatever your organization is and then send them a letter with your contact info, they called back within a couple weeks, and I was able to go in there, and they just use it as a tax write-off, and they love being able to donate to worthy causes. So I think I sent out 12 letters to different Home Depots and Lowe's, and I got 3 or 4 responses, but it ended up funding my project with paint and buckets and all the paintbrushes that I needed. So that might be something that, and it's just, you write one letter and you change the heading, so that might work for you too. Anything else?
So from this group, what do you need?
Really just approval.
Make a motion to, you want me to do that? Make a motion to approve this project? All right, so I make a motion to approve Jared Hampshire's cemetery cleanup Eagle Scout project.
Second.
I would do it as a recommendation to council to approve,
Oh, got it. Thanks. You guys are so nice to me.
then bring it up during your committee report.
So do I have a recommendation to approve Jared's cemetery cleanup project?
Second.
Earl,
Yes, roll please.
Hayes,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
All right. Well, and we'll recommend it this evening and let you know, and we'll move forward with it.
What I can do, if you don't want to sit throughout the meeting tonight, could be a lengthy meeting, I can follow up tomorrow with an email, let you know what council did. Perfect, Ed.
Works out good. Thank you. Thank you, Jared.
Thank you.
BJ. At one point in time, there was, I thought that the fence all the way around the perimeter was required. I don't know whether that's correct or not, but it might be something you'll want to check.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Awesome. Next, Mr. Osborne, for your project proposal. Welcome. Nice to see you.
All right. Hi, my name is Peter, and I'm from Troop 21. My project involves the new police station. Take an old wooden flag for them, put it in their front room. So when they walk in, they'd see that and be like, hey, it's an old feeling back into a new place. My project.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Going to be this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get some wood and carve it out with some my scouts at school and just see if I can get the painting for it and so that.
Great.
What I also wanted to do with it is put some LED lights with it to bring in some light of it and show the colors more, and just try to figure a way to put that in there.
Have you talked to Chief Brooks about your project idea?
Yes.
And any ideas that he gave you or thoughts?
Well, he liked the idea. Didn't really have any more to put on. He said he just.
Okay. So did any measurements that you have? Maybe I missed that.
I haven't got any measurements yet.
So you'll work with him on that and the space?
I want you guys first to see because size of the building yet or
Right. Anything else? Big?
What's your time frame? When do you, and let me ask this, when do you have to have it done by?
I'm 18.
And you
Okay,
are
So,
freshman?
oh, okay,
Yes.
very good, very good,
So we have to get the building built
yes.
and see the
that's what I
space and
was
measure it.
Okay.
And see where there's electric nearby and what Mr. Brooks, his interests are and
Right.
colors and things around. So it's a good start. And this is a brainstorming, basically, so you can get some ideas and get contacts. Okay. So I think what is our next step, to talk to Chief Brooks or just to wait until we,
Well, I know Chief Brooks and the mayor have already weighed in on this, they're in support of it.
great.
I would ask you, what are the next steps for this board?
Well, me and you guys, it'd be the approval and the size. But for me, it would probably be finding out who can help with it and see how much money or how much donations or things we can do to get money for it.
Probably need to know how big we need it to be first before you can start asking for donations. And we don't know the size yet until we have a building. So,
What I would recommend doing is working towards some of those. If you want to follow up with me, we can let you know the size of the building. We're a couple months from that as far as, are you thinking in the lobby?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is
Okay.
sort of when people walk in first and like see it.
Sure. And I think, we're going to be bidding out this project here in the next couple months. So I think after that, we're going to certainly have a better idea of size. So once it's bid out, if you want to follow up with us August or so, we would have a better idea of the size of the building and what would be appropriate. And I think that's a good kickoff for you then to start determining what your materials would be, how much you're going to need to raise for it. And then once you have all that together, probably coming back to this board and presenting all of that size, everything. So,
Then we would make a recommendation.
Correct.
Correct, at that time.
Yep.
This is great.
Hey, Suzanne, I got one thing.
All right, go ahead.
I would just suggest that, I think it's a great project, maybe have a second and third option as to where it goes. Maybe if it doesn't fit right with the police station, you have a, old town hall. Just have more than one option,
Just in case.
just in case to put it, but I think it's
When they
good.
build it, maybe the front lobby doesn't have an area or something like that, or maybe it's glass, or,
Right. So maybe just, at least one more, maybe two.
good idea. All right, well, thank you. So BJ will get back with you, and we'll continue to hear back from you, and we'll move forward, and once we have more information, then we can start making recommendations.
And I've been corresponding with you guys, so I'll follow up tomorrow just with all these steps and let you know what's next. Great,
us,
thank
yeah.
you.
Thanks, Peter.
How quickly will it be done?
Nice job.
How long do we have?
All right. Mr. BJ, any updates on the police station?
Yes, just a couple things I want to mention. I sent out to council a couple weeks ago the new schedule for the police station. We've been able to trim off a month of the whole process, so we're going to be going out to bid here in May or June. Our anticipation is coming to council's second meeting in July with seeking authorization to authorize the contract for the construction. That being said, we're going to build in there when the folks need to begin construction. We anticipate construction beginning in August, early August, and we will certainly keep everybody apprised of that and be ready to move forward.
Getting exciting.
It's very exciting, yeah.
Yeah.
So we do plan to have an event that for the groundbreaking, and everybody will be invited.
That's great. All right, this department. Anything else? Anybody wants to add to buildings and grounds? Go ahead.
I think you want to let the record show that Mrs. Carter's here now.
Oh, okay.
I apologize
Let the record
All right.
show that,
for my tardiness. Sorry.
Sorry.
okay, Mrs. Carter's here, and welcome.
Are you wanting to go first?
No,
I did. Okay. I just wanted to bring up town hall for a minute. Two questions. Is there anything else we need to do as a committee to start?
We
figuring out-
visited over there several times with different departments, and we're formulating a
Still
plan.
working on it. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I think we have a good one, to be honest
Cool.
with you, so.
Be good to be.
Yeah, I
excited
think
to-
a cool one, I think, but,
Okay.
yeah.
So too soon to talk about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I like it.
Okay.
I'm hopeful that council and the committee will like it, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Second part of that is the air conditioning upstairs.
It is currently under design. We shifted gears and using a company that is much cheaper.
Okay.
And I've explained the urgency of it, and they are working with us to get it done. So
Cool.
significantly cheaper, I'll
Okay.
say, which the money will go further. A couple things I just want to mention then, as far as, if I can, sorry, as far as facilities, this kind of bleeds over into the next committee meeting, but we're going to be talking about the council chambers. In here, we certainly had the door replaced, but upstairs also, I think some of you may have had an opportunity to see our workroom up in the administrative office. It was terrible. It was a kitchen before, and we, time after time, were running out of workspace. We had no countertop space. We had nothing up there. So we've had it remodeled for a good price, and it's become very conducive to more professionalism, more workspace, and we're actually able to streamline stuff that we're doing up there. So it's really good. It's been a good improvement. I know the mayor's seen it, and it's really good.
Mayor, got anything?
Yes.
we'd had a discussion about a month ago, Mayor's Court. Tanya had brought up a good point about possibly getting a device to screen for like a metal detector type thing. And she had actually gotten some prices on some used ones, and I think it was something that I'm not sure. I haven't talked to anybody about it as far as what council would want to do, but Mayor's Court is leaning towards having something to that effect. I think the unit she was looking at was also a mobile unit. Would fit in the hallway. Obviously, it's on wheels. But if Buildings and Grounds were to want to expand on that, obviously, maybe Buildings and Grounds could go halvesies with Mayor's Court so that we could end up with a safer council chambers.
Put it right at the door when you walk in, so you only need one.
Banned. So, just throwing that out there, like I said, she had, at that time, a month ago, she had done some checking and had found a used one for like $6,000. So, you know, and again, I don't know if that's would be available or if we'd go new or used or whatever, but just throwing that out there that Mayor's Court is interested in doing something like that, and obviously then it could be used for also council chambers and whatever else we might want to use it for. So,
Good idea. I have one.
and
Go
then
ahead.
as we move forward with the new police station, I know we have a lot invested in the sign out front, but kind of been my vision to see since now the police station will be back there, we're going to have to, I would like to see us start to investigate looking at maybe a sign that would better serve both the city and the police department. I know Scott has had some great ideas on what we could do out there and how it could possibly show future events, maybe have a clock in it, something along those lines. And since we're going to have a brand new station and we want people to know where it's at. And
Absolutely.
unfortunately, when that sign got hit the last time, our insurance covered to repair it, but I think we paid $10,000 for that original sign, but been a while. So just throwing that out there as a couple of items that I'd like Buildings and Grounds to take a little bit further, if they would, if there's interest.
I have one more thing, if nobody else has anything. I met with Branham Signs today for the school Storywalk project, and they have a new graphic designer his name's Jamie. And so one of the things we talked about today that I'll talk more with him about Wednesday was looking at possible artwork for the boardroom. And he said that he has, since he's new, he would look for all of the previous Storywalk art.
Right.
And he thought we could come up with something pretty creative that highlighted the city that we could put in there, and then look at quotes and things like that. So I'll know more on Wednesday to be able to put up in the building.
That'd be great.
Because last year's Storywalk was the ABCs of Pataskala, and it covered the entire city, not just downtown where the school is. So we'll see what we can do, but I'll let you know.
That'd be great, yeah.
Okay, if nobody else has anything further? Take a motion, do I make the motion to adjourn? So make a motion to adjourn?
Hayes,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.